Hello everybody, I want you to meet Wren, the rambunctious, excited little German Shepherd puppy. She is about 4 months old, and of course, she is all over the place with energy, loves to chew on things, loves to jump a little bit, and is also a bit of a puller for sure on leash. So today what we're actually going to be doing is talking about two awesome commands for the walk. One being face me, and the other being heel. Today we're just going to work on these being positions to start, and then we will expand and of course talk about how we use these in motion on our walks.
This is just a quick demonstration on how I get the Easy Walk harness on Wren without any fuss. My favorite harness to use when I'm working on loose leash walking is definitely the Easy Walk by PetSafe. The reason being is that I can utilize the front clip as opposed to clipping onto the back of my dog like most harnesses require me to do. This allows me as the handler to be the leader of the walk instead of the follower.
Face me. Very good.
Now the first command we are going to work on is a command called face me. What may look like an ordinary sit and look combination is actually a bit more intricate than just that. Notice that I require Wren's body language to be fully devoted in the direction of me, the handler. Now, in order to achieve this face me command, notice that myself, as the handler, is required to take a couple of steps backwards in combination with my hand signal and command word. So as I step backwards, my shaky fist comes low, then up to my chest while I say face me. Now let's look at that a bit slower and closer. Notice how I start with a backward step, my hand signal is shaking and low, and then I stand up and bring my hand to my chest.
Very good, girl. Release.
A fun game I like to play in order to master the face me is a little face me circles.
Good. Come. Face me. Very good. So that was an awesome face me circles. Very good girl. She got one jackpot at the end for doing 3 face me's in a row. Look. Face me.
Now to move into the heel position. Where face me requires your dog to be facing you entirely, the heel position actually requires your dog to be side by side with you.
Release.
Notice how I always bring Wren back into a face me when beginning to start over. However, I'm no longer treating the face me when I know my goal is to guide her into the heel position instead.
Very good heel. Very good.
A very important tip to keep in mind is that different than face me, where I would guide by stepping backwards, for the heel position, notice how my hand comes low, I shake my fist, but I walk in a circular motion and stop my dog at my side instead. Also keep in mind that the treat does not grant freedom. Your release word should.
Face me.
A quicker guidance into the heel position is with the step back method. Notice how I still use my shaky fist to help guide Wren. However, instead of walking in that circular motion the entire time as I did before, now I just have Wren circle into me after I step back with my right foot. Let's watch that again.
Good girl. Are we ready, Wren? Come. Heel. Beautiful heel. Good heel. Right, this way.
Now you may or may not have noticed me tapping my side at different points when introducing the heel position to Wren. The tap of my side is actually the hand signal for the heel command. However, now that Wren is getting the hang of the position, now I would like to make sure she understands what the hand signal looks like. In order to help Wren, I'm playing the game called Finding Your Heels. In In order to play this game properly, it's important that you always begin first in a face me position, and then guide your dog into the heel with the method of your choice. Either the step back like I did right now, or even the circle like I showed you earlier. Next, you would have your dog wait while you, the handler, messes up the position somewhat, and have your dog then fix the heel and find that proper position.
Wren, heel. Beautiful. Very good heel.
Notice that I start with my hand signal, and then I guide my dog after in order to assist them and make sure they succeed.
Uh-oh. So we bring their step back and we fix that up. Very good heel. Let's try to do that one more time.
Just like shown here, there's no mess ups in terms of failure. There's just fix it moments where you must help your dog.
Good girl. Very good job. Look. Release. Yeah, good girl.
Lastly, keep in mind that I did several heel positions in a row. So I release at the very end when I'm all done, and I've done about 3 to 5 different heels. Another great tip I like to point out is that I practice these commands and games a ton in the backyard first before going into the front yard, where I can't control what distractions start to present themselves. This helps set your puppy up for success and to make sure that you can build off of the success, and of course, you'll run into the real world distractions soon enough. Also, keep in mind that I'm going to start by playing these games a bunch in the front yard before I attempt them out on our actual walk as well. There's a lot of preparation that goes into perfecting these commands before trying to attempt them in brand new environments.
Last one. Wait. Heel. And stop. Very good girl.
Now, the next thing I want to discuss is the difference between the wiggle walk and the work walk. Now, I always say that about 70% of the walk is going to be wiggle walk, and the remainder 30% is going to be work walk. The wiggle walk is a time where your dog is allowed to explore a bit more and definitely be curious with the environment. However, there are still 3 very important tips that I implore you to follow. First of which is my leash holding strategy. Notice that Wren is on the opposite side of the hand that's holding the leash. This allows me to keep the leash feeling loose for my dog, whereas some people might wrap the leash all in the hand that the side your dog is in and keep them at their side with force. That may actually train your dog to want to find tension on the leash. If we want our dog to be corrected, a momentary leash correction like you just saw is totally allowed. However, we do not want to walk while the leash is actually feeling tense.
Good girl. 1, 2, 3.
Now this leads me into my tip number 2, which is the one side rule. Notice how Wren is on my right side, and that's the side I want her to remain on. So in the event she tries to cross like just then, I give a little leash correction to make sure she stays on the side I'd like her on. And the last tip for both the wiggle walk or the work walk is to make sure that you follow the 5 to 15 second sniff rule. I don't mind that my dog stops and wants to smell something. However, if you're going past about 15 seconds of sniffing, then make sure you get your dog's attention with a look and keep moving. If they do not follow, that is when I will add a leave it. This also keeps me, the handler, in the forefront of my dog's mind, because out on the walk, there's going to be a lot of other distractions that, let's face it, are more interesting than us. So if you're keeping your dog already in the conditioning of checking in throughout the walk, then when there is a distraction that presents itself, the likelihood that your dog will actually give you the attention when you need it has gone up tremendously. And of course, the most important part is to practice these games, commands, and positions out in new areas of the walk to be sure that your dog gets comfortable with them and knows how to achieve these commands when we do actually need them to work. I always say, don't wait for a problem to arise in order to start practicing. Be sure to practice throughout the walk often. That way, when there is a new distraction, your dog doesn't feel out of the normal in order to achieve those commands with you. Now just watch as Wren and I show off a little bit, practicing our stepping stones to off-leash heel. Please also keep in mind that on top of myself being a professional, I've also practiced this over 100 times both indoors and in my backyard before attempting this outside. If you are to try this outside, make sure to always use a 15 to 20 foot long leash in order to make sure that you can give the effective correction moments and step on the leash if need be. Now, if you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as Wren and I enjoyed making it, please be sure to subscribe and like. Of course, follow us at Dogfather360 on Instagram and the Dogfather360 on TikTok. We hope to see you guys back for some more. Until then, practice and have fun.
Very good.